Hello, everyone. I want to begin today with a question that may seem simple, but is actually very powerful. Are our students learning because they have to, or because they truly want to? In many middle school classrooms, teachers value quiet behavior, complete assignments, and orderly participation. When students follow instructions, we often assume learning is happening. But compliance does not automatically equal engagement. Compliance is about meeting expectations. Students complete tasks to avoid consequences, receive grades, or satisfy authority. Engagement, however, is deeper. It involves curiosity, emotional investment, and personal meaning. Let's picture a classroom example. A teacher assigns vocabulary definitions. Students copy words from a textbook. Must finish the task. The classroom looks productive. Now, imagine the teacher asks students to create the sentences about their real lives using those same words, describing hobbies, friendship, or school experiences. Students begin discussing ideas, laughing, asking questions. This is engagement. The content is the same, but the level of motivation changes completely. Moving from compliance to engagement is not about eliminating structure. Structure is important, but structure should support meaningful participation, not replace it. When students are engaged, they think critically, they connect ideas, they ask questions, they take ownership of learning. In middle school, this shift is especially important because the students are forming attitudes toward education that might last a lifetime. Teachers who foster engagement help students see learning as something active, not passive. In this series, we will explore to recognize compliance, how to encourage engagement, practical strategies to motivate learners, and how to build a classroom culture that supports authentic participation. Because education is not just about finishing work, it's about inspiring meaningful involvement. And that journey begins with understanding the difference.
I want to start with a simple question. Are our students really learning or are they just doing what we ask them to do? Many times we see students quiet, organized, turning in their assignments on time. From the outside, everything looks successful. But sometimes what we are seeing is not engagement, it's compliance. Compliance happens when students participate because they feel they have to. Maybe they want the grade, maybe they want to avoid problems, and while that might keep the class under control, it doesn't always mean that they are thinking deeply or making real connections. Engagement is something different. Engagement is when students care, when they ask questions because they are curious, when they share opinions because the topic means something to them, when they connect the lesson to their own experiences. So, how do we move from compliance to engagement? We stop asking for the correct answers. We start inviting students to think. We give them choice and we give them voice. We design activities that relate to their reality. Because when students feel heard and valued, motivation stops being external. It becomes something different. It actually becomes personal, and that's when learning truly stays with them.
Moving from compliance to engagement, transforming classroom participation into active involvement. Beyond passive obedience. Compliance. Students are going to complete the task only because they are required, and the participation is going to be passive. Engagement. Students have an active involvement when they are going to be curious, invested, and they are going to find a meaning in the work. Our ultimate goal is transforming the participation. Our strategy aims to shift the needle from "doing what I'm told" to "discovering what I can do". This leads to a vibrant, self-sustaining classroom culture where the learning is the reward itself. So we're going to have some pillars that are important for our students, and the first one is the environment. And why is it important? Why is that important? because we're going to create a positive space when they're going to be more motivated, they're going to be participating more. Also, we need to have clear expectations to support the communication, to have a transparency, and to have purpose in our tasks. Also, we need to have a collaborative learning where the students are going to be working in teams, they are going to have group discussions, and they are going to be collective success. So I'm going to present you two cases where we're going to see the shift in action. The first Zen, the compliance way. Do it or else. The case says, teacher, open your books to page 50, complete exercise 1 through 10 quietly. If you don't finish by the bell, it's a 0. The student is going to complete the task and they're going to write slowly just to avoid the trouble. What's going to be the result? That they're going to work by obedience without understanding. And our last case is the engagement. Let's solve this. The teacher says, this math puzzle helps us design a bridge. Work with your partner to find the most creative solution. Our students are going to start participating, so one of them can say, wait, I have an idea. If we change the angle here, it might be stronger. So what's going to be our result here? That our students are going to have curiosity, they are going to be working with their teams, and they're going to have a deeper learning.
We have looked at the theory, but how do we actually shift the needle from doing work to loving learning? The secret lies in autonomy. My top tip for fostering this positive environment is the choice board. Instead of giving one rigid assignment, which often feels like a demand for compliance, offer two paths to the same goal. For example, do they want to write a short dialogue or record a voice note on their phone? Do they want to work solo or in a pair? By giving students a choice, you lower the effective filter and increase personal investment. They aren't just following your instructions anymore. They are making a creative decision. That is the moment where compliance transforms into genuine engagement. Remember, a positive classroom isn't one where students are quiet and obedient all the time. It's one where they feel empowered and motivated to speak, share, and participate. Let's stop asking for permission and start building a positive classroom environment. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.